name is Rahana and I'm the founder of MummyYoga. In this video, along with little Ruby, who's actually fast asleep, she loves her sling, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the different marsupis that are available and what they are and what kind of sizes, what materials they're made of, and a few little features. So just a kind of a tour of the Marsupi Sling. I have with me here a few boxed versions because I wanted to show you how small the sling is, how neatly wrapped up it is. So now I've got three here. The first and foremost, we talk about the three different kinds, or actually really the two different kinds, and then we will just have a little nosy in what's in the box and what comes with it. So this one is the classic marsupi along with this one. So these two are the same, and then this one is the breeze. So the breeze is, as I have said before, it's the cotton linen mix marsupi, the lighter version. When we open the box, that's what we find. A really nicely wrapped up, and this is the latest packaging, may I say. This was one of my old packaging that from my earlier stock, and they used to come in these plastic bags. So you open the box and you got this out of the box. Amazingly, the marsupi manufacturers have done a fantastic job. They've gotten rid of that plastic bag, so no more single-use plastic in there. Brilliant. So we don't need that. It's fine because no one's going in the box. It's nice and safe in that box. So I'm really pleased that they have gotten rid of that single-use plastic in there. So in the box, there's a little strap and there's a little bag. So I'll show you I'll show you a bag. Actually, I have one here. This is the handy little pouch. So basically, after you've gotten rid of the bag, of the box, you can still have a wonderful little carrier bag that you can just, I mean, the marsupi is about that big when you kind of fold it. It goes in change bags, airport bags, etc. So very handy. And there's a little strap that comes with each. And that strap is really to narrow down the panel on which your baby sits. We'll do another video of how to use that strap. But in many ways, once those little froggy legs are out, you probably won't need that strap. So that is what is in all the marsupi boxes. Now, what are they? So let me tell you about the two different kinds of marsupis. We've got the breeze and we've got the classic. The classic is a thicker material. So if you can see the classic, it is a lot thicker than the breeze. This is a 100% pure organic cotton, whereas this is a linen cotton mix. And they come in many different colours. We stock this grey version, which also used to be called the anthracite. And along with it, we stock this one, which is, I forgot to take the little sticky off here. So let's see if I've got anything handy or just use my terrible nails. Right. Okay, so I managed to get in the box. This is the Marsupi chocolate. Isn't that a gorgeous colour? I love these colours. So there comes advantages of being a stockist. I have all of those. So I leave the dark shades in the car where it can just hang around in a little bag in the car. But they are really nice for winter time and they're a bit more snug. But I have to say, wearing the breeze for the baby wearing yoga class and the classic around at winter time or around the house, there's absolutely no difference in what you feel in all of them. So these are the classic ones. They're 100% cotton, and the breeze then is the cotton linen mix, so you get this nice light material. So those are the two types, and the two colours that we stock are the grey and the chocolate in the classic, and we stock the breeze. Breeze only comes in this light grey. What are the features then of the Marsupi? So as the first foremost that really draws me is how simple, compact it is. And the second feature that really draws me, because it divided our household, is the fact that it has no buckles and it doesn't have a lot of cloth around me. So as I've said again, I'm a big fan of wraps. I love a lot of fabric and that cozy feeling that me and my baby gets, but not so much Dad. He found that it was something that he couldn't get a hold of, and when he saw me wearing the wraps, he always used to go away with the feeling that this looks complicated, and he had his mind made up that this is complicated, so he never got around to it. My bias was buckles. I don't know, I just somehow felt that they were a bit fiddly. You had to adjust the buckles and the straps, so I had my mind made up that buckles were not for me. So this, along comes this sling, and it really brings us mom and dad together, if you like, because we've had now, there's no extra fabric and there are no buckles, so we both wear the sling very comfortably. That's my favourite bit about the Marsupi, that it's a sling we can share. And as I said, I've got quite a few of these dotted around and in the car, so we now have one sling in the car as opposed to a buckle carrier and a wrap that we used to have before. So what do you use instead of the buckle? Well, you use very sturdy Velcro, very sturdy indeed. And I will once again put a picture up of carrying my 3.5-year-old, who was very close to 15 kilos. So as it says on the box, that it is suitable for newborns up to 15 kilos. Now 15 kilos could be a 2-year-old to almost a 3.5, 4-year-old, depending on the weight of the child. So I'll show you a video where I was carrying my 3.5-year-old. She was very close to 15. And we were at Tate Liverpool, and she was kind of unhappy by this time because we were dragging her around seeing artwork, which was a bit more adult, and you know, just not, it was the end of the day, not being engaged, and it was beginning to feel that a tantrum might be coming our way. So I asked her. I had a spare sling in the bottom of the pram because my second at the time was very little, so I was carrying my slings around everywhere, and I offered her that if I could, if she wanted, she could come in the sling. I had to change the way I carried her, so I did a little hip carry, and she was quite tall. But the good thing is I could chat with her, right? And for me, it was a time to test. 15 kilos, really? On 2 pieces of Velcro, which all of you might be thinking, right? So I carried her from Tate Liverpool to St. James's Station, right? No problem. Not even a creak from the Velcro. I was so impressed. I haven't since carried her, but that was enough for me to test the sturdiness, because if I was going to go around recommending a sling to new mums, I wanted to test it myself. It's one thing for the manufacturers to test it, but if it was to come from me, I felt like I had to do that. And that is why I'm saying that I'm very happy with the sturdiness of the Velcro. So instead of buckles, you have Velcro. But the other thing with the Velcro is then it makes things very snug and comfortable, and still it gives me the wrap feeling, if that makes sense. You know, if you're used to wearing the wrap and having that feeling of comfort and softness, this sling with its structure gives me that wrap feeling. Then it's got a few other really nifty little things, something that a few different manufacturers do it differently. But we've got what I call the little sleek panel, and there are 2 buttons here, so you can either just kind of, okay, Ruby's decided to put her head the other way, so we're going to use the other side. So you can either put bottom button and lift the panel right up to put the top button to the top button. As you can see, look at that. Her head is so comfortable in there and she's nice and cozy holding her head. Again, I'm free to do what I want. I would never do exercise without holding her head, so I would still not rely. It's not about not relying. You need that. So if you're doing the baby wearing yoga and if you are used to it, you will know that how much importance I place on using your elbow cradle, as we call them. But nevertheless, walking around, this is brilliant. You don't have to do it this way, by the way. You can give her a smaller, more snug panel by taking the top button. So I think she's going to turn sides. Are you going to turn sides? So we can take this, the top button and put it in the bottom button, and you've got a little kind of lip here. Now, do I have my muslin? I'll go get my muslin. What I tend to do is just roll up the muslin quickly, whichever way you want, lengthwise or breadthwise. Tuck it in there. So it just gives her something to hold on to. The other thing you can do is, even when you don't have the buttons on, you can just tuck the muslin in there just to give her a bit of comfort. So the buttons are quite good. The flap is quite handy. Now once your baby gets a little bit older, these flaps tend to kind of become limited there. And then the other thing I use for muslins, you can use for muslins or you can use for dummies. You can just string them through and you've got a muslin that you won't forget where it is. And if you've got a drip situation, you can just tuck it in there. But you know how babies like to chew on the sling, so that muslin just does a fabulous little job. Use it to put your key rings through. You know, so I like that little feature. It's a very, very handy. It looks like nothing, but it's a very, very handy feature. So yeah, it gives me the feeling of a wrap. It's got these nice little features and it comes in a couple of different variations. So all in all, I love it's simple and yet it's got a few versatility built in. So if you have any other questions or comments regarding the features of Marsupi, once again, please feel to write to us or to comment where you're watching the video. But thank you very much for watching.